Welcome all to the December 2020 episode of RGN C64 Round Up, your concise guide to some of the recent events within the Commodore 64 scene. Let's kick this episode off with a look at some new releases. Starting with our feature game title, Outrage, developed by Cosmos Designs and co-published by Protovision and Cytronic Software. The basic premise behind the game is that your home base has been totally decimated in an all-out ambush, costing the lives of all your friends and family. Being the sole survivor, you wonder who or what is responsible for this bloodshed. But does it really matter? No. The only thing that really matters is dishing out justice, and you will not rest until you succeed. Outrage is a run and gun type game that sees you fighting your way through to the far right side of a level through hordes of spawning monsters and collecting coins along the way. You start off with 5 lives and your warrior has an energy bar that decreases over time. You have 4 weapons at your disposal. Your default weapon is somewhat weak, but comes with an unlimited supply of ammunition. The other 3 weapons have stronger firepower, but your ammunition for these is limited and must be purchased with coins you collect throughout the game. The flashing platform looking symbol is the shop, so let's head on over to it and see what's available to purchase. Items available to buy include an extra life, restoring your energy to full, a smart bomb, a rapid fire upgrade, and then at the bottom we have the ammunition for your more powerful weapons. Moving along, you will find that Outrage is not a game that you can simply rush through. There are tons of platforms that you have to navigate across, many hazards to be aware of, and killing enemies with the basic weapon requires multiple hits. All this results in the game's difficulty being quite challenging. You really need to take care, have patience, and memorize where hazards are located all throughout the game. Failing to take this approach will often result in unfortunate consequences. To make things a little more difficult, it can be hard to tell what parts of the game environment can be stood on and which parts can't. And it doesn't help that our warrior appears to have trouble traversing what appears to be the smallest of gaps between platforms. Anyway, get to the end of a level and we are rewarded with some great looking boss battles. Outrage offers 5 levels to complete, with each level being a good length. Each level has its own distinct look to them, with new tougher enemies and hazards being introduced along the way, and the frequency of platforms becoming more prevalent. Collecting coins becomes an imperative exercise, so you can afford to stock up on additional ammunition and extra lives. But just remember, your energy bar does decrease over time, so you can't be hanging around too long. Difficulty setting aside, fans of the genre are sure to enjoy the action and aesthetics on offer. For the most part, the game runs quite smoothly and the backing music is exceptional and brings so much to the gaming experience. Once you start remembering where all of the falling objects and sudden hazards are located, good progress can be made, and your drive to see the next level boss is strong. Outrage is both PAL and NTSC compatible. Pre-orders for Outrage will be going live on December 14, and the game will come out as a cartridge and digital release via Protovision, while the Cytronic version will be on disc format. Outrage is a game 30 years in the making, with multiple failed attempts to bring the game to commercial release. You can read up on its history from a dedicated Outrage website put together by the original coder. The C64 Christmas Bundle is a collection of holiday-themed games and other recent paid and free games designed to give you a taste of some of the recently released games available for the Commodore 64. Available as a digital download from itch.io for just $5 US, the Christmas Bundle includes 15 games consisting of a mix of puzzle games and single-screen arcade titles. While none of the games would be considered to be AAA titles by the C64 standard, they all provide a bit of fun and are sure to keep you entertained over the festive season. But don't wait too long, as this deal expires at the end of December. Taking a look at some of the notable titles in the bundle, Rainbow Edge Run DX sees you follow the edge of the rainbow, picking up all the gold you can carry. But beware, the path to fortune is trapped with mines. This is an enhanced version of the original 4K game, and the improvements implemented to the game have elevated it to make it a much more compelling game to play. This is a nice looking endless runner game which now features a number of power-ups, including a clever implementation of a flying balloon mode. GridPix Advent is a festive edition of the original GridPix game featuring 24 brand new nanogram puzzles to take you through to Christmas. I really enjoyed the original GridPix game, and I'm glad to see the additional puzzles becoming available. Snowdown is a Christmas themed version of Showdown, a game we covered in last month's roundup. This is a 1 or 2 player action shooter with guns and bullets being replaced with snowballs. Doc Christmas is a special Christmas release of the award-winning Doc Cosmos, containing some graphical updates to make Doc more seasonal, along with the inclusion of 5 additional puzzling screens that cannot be found in the original game. Doc Cosmos is one of the stronger titles for 2019, and if you haven't played the original, then this edition will do just fine. Picaro Games has released a quirky new platform game titled Juanje Juega in Sinverland. The game features 23 single-screen levels, with each one playing some sort of homage to classic games from the 80s. The general premise to the game is that you need to take action to trigger a key reveal that will then open up an exit door to the next level. Some levels will require you to simply collect all of the items on the screen, while the solution to other levels will be somewhat obtuse. Juanje Juega is originally a Spanish title, but an English translation version of the game is now available within this video description. Okay, now it's time to catch up on some news. Protovision has launched a crowdfunding campaign to produce a new controller pad for the C64 called ProtoPad. Key features of the ProtoPad include a directional control pad with multi-buttons for games that support this feature, such as many C64 GS kart games, Super Mario 64, MW Ultra and Wormhole. The controller's compatibility mode will assign one of the buttons to emulate up for those who prefer to execute jumps by pressing a button, and the controller will be compatible with Amiga and Atari machines. If you're looking to enhance your C64 gaming experience with a ProtoPad, then head on over to the ProtoPad crowdfunding page before the campaign finishes up on Christmas Day. Parallaxian is a technically impressive looking shooter by John Woods that looks to provide some super smooth fighter movement along with intricate parallax scrolling and some bombastic sound effects. Development of this project has been somewhat of a stop-start affair this year due to personal health reasons. On screen now is this level Desertscape, and as you can see that even in this unfinished state, the game is looking to provide a highly polished arcade gaming experience that aims to provide as close to a 16-bit look as possible. In speaking with John on the status of Parallaxian, he revealed that he has provisionally designed 2 additional levels, the first being a tropical seascape environment with islands, while the second is a frozen wintry landscape. John has also been busy adding in further ground targets for us to bomb and compressing his scrolling code to allow for the possibility of including in-game music. We hope to be able to show you more updates in the upcoming months. Boba Games have put together an interesting compilation that I will refer to as the Butt compilation. This single cartridge includes 3 games: Scuttlebutt 64, where you need to save the world from invading cosmic posteriors; Kung Fu Fighter, where you have to deflect toilet paper rolls; and Fart Escape, a fart and fly arcade game. Bitmapsoft have opened pre-orders for the cassette version of Showdown, the gunfight-inspired action shooter for 1 or 2 players. Meanwhile, its sister label, Phoenixware, has opened up pre-orders for Neptune Lander Elite, a game inspired by Lunar Lander and was covered in last month's roundup, and a multi-format edition of Caveman, a game originally released in 1982 as a tabletop game. The third annual RGN C64 Gamers' Choice Award will be held soon to determine the most popular C64 game in 2020. You can look out for a special video presentation revealing the 20 nominated games for this year on January 1, with voting to start soon after. What are your favourite games for the year? There's been some really great pixel art released recently on the C64 scene. Here are the 7 that stood out for me. How about we finish off this episode with a sneak preview of an upcoming game. Development on the C64 port of Eye of the Beholder looks like it's in the very final steps and is surely to get a release in the early parts of 2021. The premise behind the game is that the Lords of the City hire a team of adventurers to investigate an evil coming from beneath. The adventurers enter the city's sewer, but the entrance gets blocked by a collapse caused by the Beholder, compelling your team to go further down beneath the city, going through various clans to confront the Beholder in its lair. Following the completion of the game intro featuring some nice cinematic cutscenes, we are given the opportunity to construct our party of 4 before commencing our quest proper. It's at this stage that I'm taken aback by how well the game is presented in front of me. I've seen footage of Eye of the Beholder before, but seeing it on display on a CRT screen is something to behold, pardon the pun, and instantly draws me into the game world. The game can be played with mouse and keyboard, and for most part is quite intuitive to play. Combat is done by clicking the weapon you want to use as shown on the right side of each team member's graphic. The game's substantial inventory screen is retained with its drag and drop functionality, and you even get a chance to give your party a rest in order to restore HP. Playing through the first level was quite fun as you work through some of its rudimentary puzzles while using the inbuilt map to guide my way through. The talented development team who has undertaken this large project to port the game is headed by Andreas Larsson. Andreas has revealed that all there is left to do is to finalise the cover box art and clean up some auto-converted graphics, and then it's done. Fans of this genre of the game are going to love Eye of the Beholder. And that's a wrap on this episode and RGN for 2020. I hope you have been enjoying the content produced throughout the year, and thanks to everyone who has actively supported the channel. The C64 has had a fantastic year, and 2021 does not look like it will disappoint either. What a great time it is to be a C64 fan. Until next time, bye for now.